So, what we will do is go through from the Baal Shem Tov, Miyasir of Teres Chassidut Chabad, all the way to the Rebbe, and do exactly that. Look into the soul of the book, which is the soul of the Rebbe. So, my friends, let us all take a journey. We're taking a journey into the Sfarim and into the souls that are inscribed in these Sfarim. Anon nafshis kovis Yehovis. Hashem said that. The first word of the Aseres HaDibros, which is the basis of all the Torah, is an acronym, Anochi. Anon nafshis kovis Yehovis. I have infused, I have inscribed my soul in these words that I give you. And tzaddikim deim leberam, tzaddikim do exactly the same. Now, to truly appreciate a sefer, to truly appreciate a teaching, it's always healthy and wise to see why was this teaching taught and when was it taught? What challenge, what issue was it coming to address? So let's begin our journey to the end of the 17th century. The end of the 17th century, the birth of the Baal Shem Tov, 1698, and the beginning of the 18th century. What was the world experiencing? It was the beginning of the modern age. The world we have today began to be determined and defined in that period. After the Renaissance and the so-called Enlightenment, which challenged long-held beliefs and systems and establishments, a new period opened up, free inquiry. And it changed much. And for Jews in particular, it has deep impact. Because the emancipation of the Jews now is a new modern world that they have to deal with. How do you deal with that? And it was especially dire time because it was just 50 years after Gzeres Tach V'Tat, Chmelnytsky, who led hordes of Cossacks, killing hundreds of thousands of Jews in European communities. It was 30 years after the fiasco, the tragedy of Shabtai Tzvi that led and picked up people's hopes and then shattered. The Jews were broken. Their spirits were demoralized. You can say it was the beginning of dichotomies. The dichotomy between God and this universe, between faith and reason, between science and religion. And for Jews, the dichotomy between academic Torah and passionate Judaism, between the body and soul, the neshama and the guf of Torah, between scholars and laymen. Many dichotomies were born in that period of time. And that's the landscape, that's the backdrop where the Baal Shem Tov enters. The Eibush says, Magdim refu lamaka. Before the illness, he gives us the cure, and Chassidus was born. Chassidus was born, the Baal Shem Tov, 36 years, in the year 1734, the Baal Shem Tov comes on the scene, and what does he teach? He teaches there are no dichotomies. Hashem echad doesn't mean just one God, it means one reality. The divine is everywhere. Every fiber of existence, as the Alter Rebbe brings the Torah of the Baal Shem Tov right in the beginning of Shar Yechid V'Amunah, La'elam Hashem Dvarchav Nitzav B'Shamayim, that the words of God are always and perpetually vivifying every detail, every iota of existence. It's concealed, but it's waiting to be released by us, because the concealment is only from our perspective. What is the consequences of that? There are no dichotomies. There was a school of thought that at one point said, you know what, we can't reconcile these two worlds, Judaism and the modern world, faith and modernity. And that school of thought claimed, in the words they used, a Jew at home, a goy in the street, compartmentalization. On the other extreme, there were those that said, fine, the ghetto walls are coming down, but we have to create our own blinders, because the hostile world is a threat. The Baal Shem Tov and Chassidus comes and teaches, no. The world is not a threat because the world is created by God. And when you're able to access and dig deeper, you'll find godliness everywhere. And hence the Baal Shem Tov says, from everything that a person sees or hears, there's a lesson. Everything. Everything is divine providence. A leaf turning in the wind is divine providence. So there's no detail in life that is not subject to some divine plan. Famous story with Reb Chaim Rappaport, where the Baal Shem Tov had the simcha because the Chaim Rappaport took a drink of water. And he said, that water was waiting from the beginning of time for you to make a bracha on it. Imagine now, let's live with that in our own lives, that when you walk the streets, wherever you go, God leads your footsteps. And every interaction, every encounter could be that from the beginning of time was waiting for you, or I, or any one of us, to utilize for some higher purpose. How does that infuse our lives? That challenged, and that was countering the demoralization and the broken spirits of the Jews, because it invoked a deeper look at everything. Just as the Baal Shem Tov showed and revealed the divine within everything in existence, he also revealed the divine within every Jew. That no matter who you are and what your behavior looks like and what your external is like, you have a core that may not be obvious to the eye, but it carries potent, infinite energy. What we call etzem haneshama. What's etzem? Chassidus uses the word etzem and giluyim. Giluyim is expression, it's definitions, it's conscious experiences. Etzem, we don't see, but it lies at the soul and heart. Yom Kippur, one Yom Kippur, the Baal Shem Tov and the students were studying. They were studying they were davening, Yom Kippur. And the Baal Shem Tov said that particular Yom Kippur, there was a decree in heaven that had to be abolished, so they were crying to no avail. A farm boy walks in, he sees everyone crying, everyone praying. Now he was ignorant, illiterate, he couldn't read Hebrew. He was a farm boy. But in his sincerity, he sees everyone crying. What did he know? The call of a rooster from the farm. So he called out, "Kukurikoo, kukurikoo, kukurikoo." And with that, he pierced heaven. The Baal Shem Tov sensed it. That's a etzem. We all have our kukurikoos, despite what our externals may look like. That's what the Baal Shem Tov revealed. And when you reveal the etzem, and here, let us refer to the quotes in the companion guide here. In the words of the Baal Shem Tov, a fundamental teaching that when you touch the core, you touch everything. If you touch someone's nose, you touch someone's mouth, you eat a piece of food, these are all localized, specific experiences. You touch the core, it's like someone touches the love of your child, that consumes all of you. And think of it in our contemporary terms. We go on mitzvah tefillin or mitzvah neshek. And you put up, many people say, it's a person who's not an observant Jew. We're putting on tefillin. What's his rest of his life look like? But a mitzvah is not just a mitzvah, and a Jew is not just a Jew. There's an etzem haneshama, both the etzem in the mitzvah and the etzem in the Jew. And when you touch that, you touch his core. And that can ignite an entire revolution, a flame, a core pilot flame that will change this person's life. Maybe not immediately. That's what etzem is. Looking into the core of things, the Baal Shem Tov also taught us that we have to think mission-centric. Why are we here? And one of the most powerful statement. HaKadosh Baruch Hu schickt herab an Neshama auf der Welt. God sends a soul down to this world. Und lebt 70 oder 80 Jahre, lives 70 or 80 years. Was der Tachlis HaKavana von der Schlichus. The ultimate purpose of this mission is to tona iden ateva, to do a Jew a favor. In Gashmias bechlal und in Ruchnias befrat. In the material in general and specifically in the spiritual realm. The Rebbe calls this a Maimer Nifla, Vayeshev Tov Shemem Zayin. A wondrous, an awesome teaching. Why? Because you can be a Shemer Torah mitzvahs. Quran, Tefillin, keep Shabbos, Kashrus, everything. But that's not why your neshama may have come down here. Once you're here, obviously you have to do all the Torah mitzvahs. Your neshama came down to do a favor. How do we live with these words? Very simple. We meet people all the time. It could be in a subway, it could be on a plane, it could be in the street, it could be a friend, it could be a stranger. This may be the person that you were sent to this world to help. It may not even be a person you like. Maybe a person that you may be turned off by. But this eliminates the whole idea of judgmentalism and condescension that is such a plague in our times, because that person may be why you are here, to do a favor. So the Baal Shem Tov created the revolution. to look at the world through a new prism, through a new lens, the lens of etzem, the lens of the core, that there's something going on beneath the surface. What you see is not what you get. And that should infuse us to look at life as a mission, to reveal the divine in every detail of our lives. And this would set the stage to all the other next generations of Chassidus, which all came, spreading the wellsprings, as Moshiach told the Baal Shem Tov, that when your wellsprings will be spread to the farthest outskirts, that's when I will come. Because it's transforming the world and making it a world where there's a total fusion of the divine and existence without any separation.